So what's going on, guys? My name is Mr. Dalek JD, and I cannot believe it. Treyarch has just dropped the intro cinematic for Revelations. What's contained within this cutscene alone is beyond mind-blowing stuff. This is freaking amazing, and I just can't contain the excitement watching this over and over it's bringing to me, and hopefully the same for you guys. If you want to see the full thing uncut, first link in the description, go ahead, open that in a tab, watch that before coming back and watching this video. If you haven't, we're going to break it down. But guys, if you are hyped for Revelations, smash that like button. This is freaking amazing. Let's jump into it. The first shot we have in this intro is of the house. We now learn of the entire environment that the house is set in. It's within a perfect world, a world which is separate from the worlds we've been traveling in before, and it's free from all the evil that have corrupted each and every corner of the known and unknown universe. And we now learn exactly why we needed all of the souls, because it's preserved our characters as children. I made a video around about a week ago predicting that we would see the characters as children within the house, and you can clearly see that here. Dr. Monty says it was going to be a place of safety for the kids, the little yous. Little, so far, so good. And we see all of our characters as miniature versions of children. We have Samantha, we have Richtofen, we also have Takeo, Nikolai, and Dempsey as children, which that alone is mind-blowing to see. This is the first time we've ever seen anything of the house apart from that one room in the Origins End cutscene. Just seeing the continuation of that cutscene in this intro, the chills, man. Wow. If that wasn't mind-blowing enough, the next scene we have is Dr. Maxis. No longer are we seeing just a picture of Dr. Maxis or just hearing his voice. We can physically see him in this cutscene, which that alone as well is beyond mind-blowing. Thank you so much, Treyarch. And we have what seems to be a teleporter with all of our characters coming in through the teleporter into the house. And this next bit is something I thought we would never see. This is the stuff of zombie dreams. Richtofen and Dr. Maxis hugging it out. Like, what is life right now? Monty says that you brought the summoning key here and you destroyed that bloody machine once and for all. And we did the right thing, we followed the plan, which is exactly what Richtofen was told to do. There was no deceiving from anything that was going on throughout our journey. Richtofen followed the plan and he didn't do anything that was against what he should have done. And it's at this point where we see him and Maxis destroy this machine. Not sure what exactly the machine is, possibly what allows them to travel through all the dimensions, and that's their final gateway. Once that's destroyed, they cannot leave. But as with anything, there is a huge plot twist which we were not expecting at all. We had the idea, it was borrowed in our heads, but we never thought it was actually going to come into fruition. And just as we saw at the end of the Shadows of Evil Easter egg, we captured the Shadowman within the summoning key. At first we didn't think anything of it. We haven't seen anything from the Shadowman since then in reference to any of the other souls that we collected, but the summoning key definitely held the Shadowman within there. And it's once the characters arrived and Maxis kind of left the summoning key somewhere safe, he started to hear the voice of the Shadowman calling for him. Now in Zetsubonoshima, in the radios, that is exactly what Dr. Maxis was talking about, with a weird voice that explained everything to him. It wasn't anyone like Dr. Monty. It was a completely deceitful person known as the Shadowman who says only together we can prevent the destruction of your world. What is even more incredible is it seems that the Shadowman literally takes his soul within Maxis's body and transforms into the Shadowman that we once saw. Because Monty says, you know, we haven't actually gotten Maxis' soul yet, all I got was a brain. There was no soul for the summoning key to sacrifice. Rather than take Dr. Maxis' soul, he's actually taken his body. So we don't actually have Dr. Maxis with us anymore to guide us throughout this last map. It is literally Dr. Monty alone. And he says the key thing is, and the thing that is key, is that Maxis fiddled around with the summoning thingamajig and accidentally released the Shadowman. What is even more insane is that Dr. Monty didn't even know the Shadowman was contained within the summoning key, which to me, for someone that looks over all of the universes, that is pretty crazy that slipped past him. And he says the Shadowman, the one and only original Hairbringer of Doom. So he is the original Apophagon, the one that is going to cause all the chaos that's going to happen and inflict upon our worlds. And we see this happen once the Shadowman releases himself outside of the house. This perfect world that Dr. Monty was creating is suddenly finally ripped apart by the Shadowman, and it seems he almost breaks a tear in the universe to expose it to the evil that it exists outside of this universe. Completely rips it apart, exposes it to what is beyond, seems to teleport the remains of the house area into a random universe, just floating there, which is why we've always seen the house represented as his house in this floating weird atmosphere that shouldn't exist, but it does. And it seems the Shadowman has let out the entire race of Apothicons to literally just go absolutely havoc across all of the universes. And as Dr. Monty says to our characters, he goes, I'm not going to sugarcoat it, this has gotten way too far out of control. This isn't any vague evil, this is the Apothicons. The Apothicons that once existed millions of years ago on the battlefields of the Great War of Primus, and now amongst us in our perfect world. They are the most powerful and evil entities in all the existences that ever existed, and they are here right now. And this next shot I just can't get over. It's the Shadowman stood on a floating rock looking at the universes that he knows he is tearing apart, and it pans to our characters stood, and we can see the Shadowman in the windowsill. Monty says he isn't going to sugarcoat it. This is a really messed up situation. It is what he calls a fucking shit show. And if you remember that huge gateworm we had at the end of Shadows of Evil, we have an even bigger gateworm that is now attacking all sorts of different universes. One of those universes being Nakda and Toten. We can see the cracks in the ceiling with the universe floating above it, with the gateworm flying across, with zombies swarming across the entire thing. It's the only map that we see in this intro cutscene that is savagely attacked and destroyed by the events of the Shadowman, releasing the Apothicons across the universes. But I'm sure with every single other map we saw in the sneak peek video yesterday, it's a very great representation that every single universe where our maps reside in are definitely destroyed because of this. Interestingly enough as well, we see a lot of Shadows of Evil zombie types within the Nakda and Toten facility, which we normally wouldn't see. So this is definitely a bleeding of universes. Everything is severely messed up for us to be seeing those sorts of zombies within the Nakda and Toten facility, and the zombies' eyes are also red. But oh my goodness me, Treyarch all the way back in April when they unveiled Black Ops 3 Zombies had the poster "Only the Cursed Survive," and they were not joking, were they? The Shadowman was an integral part of the zombie storyline in Black Ops 3, and it seems they're going to cause absolute chaos. Now, I don't think that one gateworm is the only one we're going to see, as the thumbnail for this uploaded by Call of Duty shows a shot which we've not seen before in the actual trailer, and we can see playable area space. We can see a wall gun there you can buy, we can see a church as well as the Pack-a-Punch machine, the weird artifact shooting blue light up which we saw in the trailer yesterday, and the huge giant Apothicon worm attacking us in there in the middle. But you can just see the colours coming from the sky. One side is red, the other is blue. This just looks just beyond anything we could have imagined. But oh my goodness, I just keep watching back this intro and my jaw just drops to the floor every single time. It's not left it ever since. So many questions were answered within this intro alone. This was so overwhelming that the map's going to be even more overwhelming than this, which I just can't believe. This was one of the most beautiful prologues I think I've ever seen from zombies. I don't know how Treyarch can outdo themselves with this one. It is just beyond words. But guys, there is so much to still talk about within this intro cinematic that if it comes to it, I will be making a separate video. There's probably a ton of Easter eggs within this intro prologue which we still haven't sussed out yet, and so many more things to talk about. So I'll be making another video talking about this intro very soon, but I plead you to click that like button if this got you hyped for Revelations. This just looks to be the ultimate zombies map that we've ever had. Visiting old maps, seeing this much destruction due to the Shadowman, our characters as children, seeing Dr. Maxis in real life. This looks absolutely incredible. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Subscribe to keep yourself up to date with the latest, and I'll catch you in another video